Welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire, and you are listening to the logical analysis of a flat earth debate between the one and only Austin WITSIT, possibly the greatest debater of all time, and so-called Professor Dave Farina, vying for the Dunning-Kruger Championships. This guy is quite the goof. Quite the goof. I mean, the real question is, are we going to be able to finish this in this third part, or will the goofery prove too much for Bruce McGuire to handle? Now, the motto on MINDSHOCK, of course, is the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. But are we going to have to modify that to how much goofery can one man take? As I look at these so-called debates, I mean, this is why I have formed my flat earth psyop theory that the establishment props up these shill goofs like Farina. They find the dumbest individuals they can, possibly with legitimate mental disabilities, to defend the globe earth in order to increase flat earth membership, regardless of what the true shape of the universe is, or the earth within the universe, whatever the universal cosmology truly is. I don't even get into that. Regardless, whether it's globe, flat, something else entirely. They want to destabilize society in order to usher in a new world order. And they're using flat versus globe to do it. That is my theory, the Bruce McGuire theory, on the flat earth psyop. As always, we will be examining this debate for logical fallacies. I will be calling them out as they happen. Obviously, Farina has come to play here. He wants his Dunning-Kruger crown. That much is clear. He's upped the ante on fallacy spew and diversification of fallacies over his flat earth, I believe it was his first flat earth debate against flat earth Dave. So he has definitely upped his Dunning-Kruger and fallacy game here for his appearance against Austin WITSIT, possibly the most patient man on the interwebs. So that's what we'll be doing, logically analyzing the debate. This is not about conclusions for all the triggered goofs that will no doubt flood the comments section or in the live chat, hallucinating that this is about some kind of conclusion about the shape of the earth. No, we're just examining argumentation. That's what this is for. I don't know why so many goofs are so triggered that someone is analyzing argumentation instead of just desperately clinging to side A or side B. It really triggers the sensibilities of a lot of authority-worshipping cultist bootlickers, which we all expose here on MINDSHOCK. If you want to help support the podcast, help logic and reason return to a world that is quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notification, like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. Unless, of course, you're with us here live, then drop them in the live channel. Try to get to all of them. If you're not getting YouTube notifications, you could sign up even for the free Patreon tier and get all notifications from through there. They appear to work. And then you could also become a YouTube member and help support MINDSHOCK that way here on the Bruce McGuire channel, the home of MINDSHOCK. So without further ado, let's pick up where we left off. Welcome Liam Goodson and John McClure in the chat here. Feel free to drop your observations here. Liam says, I think it's going to be rather embarrassing for the so-called. John McClure says, chaos magic. That would be interesting to explore in its own podcast, but yes. Chaos and disorder might be the name of the game for distracting people to steer them away from the truth, whatever that might be. So, we will be picking up, this is part 3. If you haven't checked out the first 2 parts, you can check those out here on the, they should be in the description links in the description, or you could just go to the playlist section of the channel and find Flat Earth Logical Analysis there, where you'll see many different ones.
Is going
up due to perspective, dude. Just
Ramps
imagine,
up.
just think about it simply. If I was on a flat floor and I laid my head down on the floor, as I start to stand up, I'm going to be able to see further along the floor because my angle of view increases. This is again not exclusive to a globe Earth. And why? And you deflected away from the observation that refutes the globe again.
Because I can't verify any of these numbers or the math. They're just lying about them.
Okay, so if the numbers are correct, then you concede it refutes the globe.
Probably not. No.
Okay, then answer it as if the answer, because these are not.
Wow, a moment of honesty from Dave Farina. Are pigs flying? What is going on? So Austin just tested him there. He just tested to see if Farina was good faith or not. I mean, obviously he's not. And Farina said, so Farina's claiming that he's lying about the numbers. So in this children's level thought experiment, Austin asked him, but if the numbers are real, if he can verify them for himself, if he can verify that these numbers are accurate, would that refute the globe? Farina says probably not, no. So then, even if they're not lying, it's still that. So why not engage in good faith? How do they not disprove the globe? Other than, I mean, magical refraction, which just changes. It just magically changes to match a flat Earth, no matter what it is. It changes the amount it changes, as long as it ends up looking flat while still being a globe. That's their magical refraction. But why not engage in good faith? Are there any Dave Farina defenders? Are there any people who think he's not mentally disabled? Or just grifting, some kind of shill grifter, humiliation fetishist? Is there anyone who thinks Dave Farina is actually being for real here? In which case, why would he not engage in good faith? Because it doesn't take a large mental capacity, because obviously he hasn't, this is just a label here, he hasn't, obviously he shouldn't take the numbers on faith, but why not engage in good faith and say, okay, if those numbers are accurate, then X, Y, Z, or it does or doesn't prove this because of A, B, C. Like, why not actually engage in good faith instead of just crying like a baby, you're lying about the numbers, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. And then Austin says, well, what if they are true? Would they refute? Well, no, not. And even if they're not, so lying or not lying, no matter what, the globe can never be refuted in Farina's deranged mind, but he'll never actually demonstrate how. That's curious. Welcome, Chris Topher and Christopher. We got back-to-back Chris's in the chat here. So that is curious. So Austin just exposed Farina's bad faith, because I was actually on the fence of, because it's kind of hard. It's always hard to dissect these goofs. Like, is this legitimate mental disability? Is this humiliation fetishism? I mean, what is this? Like, what kind of globe defense is this? I mean, how are they engaging? Are these just anti-flat Earth grifters, or they don't even care about the shape of the Earth? They know they're too dumb to actually engage in good faith and have any kind of real debate. So they're just doing this for the clicks, for the moolah, and that's it. So does Dave Farina, does he have the mental wherewithal to understand that he's too stupid to actually understand any of this, and he doesn't have the mental capacity? Is he aware that he doesn't have the mental capacity to have this kind of debate? So that's why, oh, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. But Austin caught him here in this rare moment where Farina exposed that he's not good faith anyway. Because even if the numbers are real, it still doesn't refute globe Earth. But he won't explain how or why, unless he will. Let's see. Who thinks he actually will? Or is he just going to keep crying?
my numbers.
Okay, I don't know that.
Everyone at home's gonna be able to go look it up. It's a official professional photography website.
I
It's
just
not
want
even
to let you guys both know. At the start of the show, I did a poll. Just so it's with about 3,000 votes. It's 65% Globe Gang, 35% Flat Friend, which I thought I'm gonna run it again at the end because I thought this would be fun and a fun experience.
Well, nobody's going to change their mind here. let's be
well, you're probably true. So you've watched online debates before, Dave. So the yeah.
Well, no, not really. I mean, he brings his flat Earth, people, and I mean, they impervious to facts and logic, so they're not going to change.
Says the guy that's
their
just
mind on anything.
ducking a picture.
Yeah, I'm ducking a picture because it's a picture, right? I'm talking about very simple physical concepts, right? I'm talking about observations that we can all agree on, like the observation of a celestial sphere rotating counterclockwise versus clockwise.
The celestial sphere is rotating, so not the Earth? Did Farina just expose himself again? So he just said observations we can all agree on, like the celestial sphere. So the celestial bodies within the celestial sphere around the Earth are moving and so the Earth's not moving? I mean, is Farina that mentally disabled? He doesn't even understand what he's... So he definitely doesn't understand what Austin's saying, but he doesn't even understand what he's saying? So this is why I keep bringing this up. Some people ask, well, why Bruce McGuire? You seem to know a thing or two about fallacies and debate. Why don't you debate? Now, if a preschooler challenges a professional boxer or kickboxer into some kind of full contact bout, if the adult kickboxer declines, is he scared? He's too scared to get in the ring with the preschooler, right? He's too scared, right? Because Craig challenged me. I mean, a lot of goofs challenged me to debate. But within their challenge of their comments, they have demonstrated they're not even on a preschool English comprehension level. Why would that be fruitful? I mean, why would any adult kickboxer, let's say the bottom ranked, let's say I'm the worst adult debater ever, just for the sake of argument. So the last ranked, well, even amateur ranked, let's not even talk about professionals. Amateur ranked, let's go amateurs. So the lowest ranked amateur adult boxer or kickboxer, if he refuses the full contact challenge from the preschooler, is he scared? He's scared he's gonna lose? Because he refused to get in the ring? And the preschoolers just keep saying, goading and goading. Come on, what are you scared? Why are you so scared? Let's do it. Let's do the full contact bout. And furthermore, as these preschoolers observe other bouts, like for example, Austin WITSIT accepted the challenge against the preschooler. So it's like Mike Tyson keeps knocking this preschooler to the mat. And the preschooler keeps insisting that they're winning. I'm winning. Ooh, that was my point when I got knocked down and destroyed. And these other preschoolers on the sideline are like, good job, preschooler. You're really destroying Mike Tyson here. As they keep getting knocked down. They can't even get a single hit on Tyson. Or whoever. The adult combat sport athlete. They just keep getting destroyed. And these preschoolers pretend that the other preschoolers getting destroyed are winning. And then anybody that refuses to enter the ring is too scared. I mean, with this kind of goofery, like if Farina's not even on a preschool English level, I mean, what can we really do here? I mean, what can we really do? I mean, does anybody in the chat have any thoughts here? But again, yes, the stars appearing... You know, this is as dumb. I'll bring this graphic up. I bring it up all the time. And again, a lot of these scientism, cultist, bootlickers, they can't grasp this very simple concept. Just because something looks a certain way doesn't mean it is a certain way. So if we can all agree that this boat is floating, it's definitely floating, right? Can't be an issue of true versus apparent horizon, right? Or if train tracks look, according to Farina, we can all agree on the observation that the train tracks touch in the distance. They touch, right? We could all agree on the observation. But does that mean they really touch because they look like they touch? So Farina is so mentally disabled. He's so mentally gone. He thinks if stars appear to rotate or move a certain way, then that means they are moving that way. So when someone's this mentally deficient, like, where is there to go next? Like, why would anybody debate someone who's not on a preschool English level? Why would any adult engage in a full contact sports battle in the ring with a preschooler? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it? But these goofs, they just can't grasp these simple concepts like apparent horizon, true horizon, or things are not always what they appear. I mean, it's a simple concept. But goofs like Farina, they just can't grasp it.
That you cannot explain, that only makes sense on a spherical Earth, that we used in ancient times to prove that the Earth is a sphere. That's why sphere is the default position that you're trying to undermine by talking
But hey,
about.
So it looks like Farina's just going to continue spamming appeal to invincible ignorance, because Austin has already addressed this so many times, and Farina, either because he's bad faith or genuine mental disability or a combination of both. I mean, maybe he does have the mental capacity to understand a couple things here and there, not a lot, but a couple, but then he pretends he doesn't. So, yeah, all of this has been clearly explained, and the goof is so... He's historically illiterate as well. I mean, this goof is historically illiterate. I mean, from the ancient times he references literally every, according to his own establishment dogma that he peddles inaccurately, because he's too stupid to even know the dogma he's pretending that he's peddling. Every single ancient civilization, including the Greeks, because this goof is so brain dead, he doesn't understand. He didn't even read his own scientism texts. Because in Lucretius's On the Nature of Things, it clearly outlines, we've gone over this many times, it clearly outlines, I went over this in the previous 2 episodes, I'm not going to bring up all the text again, but you could see him in the previous 2 parts of this breakdown, because this was in his opening. Even the Greeks were divided on the shape of the earth. Now, I don't know the exact division. I don't know if it was 50-50 or whatever. But there were Greek scholars on both sides of the debate going on into Roman times. And then the Romans were divided on whether it was a flat earth with a dome over it, like every other ancient civilization. I mean, and the Chinese believed it, again, the idea of this globe spherology was introduced by Jesuit priests. Make of that what you will. That's the official narrative in the 1400s and in the 1500s. But it didn't really catch on. I mean, even in the early 1900s, China was not on the same page until well into the 1900s, where they completely switched over to globe Earth. But this goof is so brain dead, he doesn't even understand, like, every ancient civilization, including the Greeks, operated on a flat earth cosmology. And then supposedly certain factions of the Greeks went with first the geocentric globe, and then, I don't know the exact delineation of whether they have, or hypothesizing heliocentric. But anyway, yeah, this goof doesn't even know the establishment history. I mean, can you think of someone less qualified to debate the subject than Farina? I mean, this is bottom of the barrel goofery. And then he keeps spamming appeal to invincible ignorance when Austin has already addressed all of this. Austin actually made a pretty good point. Austin made the best argument I've ever heard on flat Earth being default. Globe is not default. Globe is establishment peddled. Globe is now the... well, I'm not even sure where it ranks in popularity. if you want to go by most maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Has every single person on Earth been interviewed? Has every single human on Earth, or at least in the known world, let's put it that way, depending on what kind of model of the globe you believe, of the Earth you believe, whether it's a globe, whether it's a flat plane, whether there's an Antarctic ice ring, whether there are continents beyond the ring, but within our known continents, has every single human been interviewed? Like, what is truly the most popular model of Earth? I'm actually not 100% sure the majority of humans in the world would pick globe Earth. I mean, even pre-flat Earth rollout on the internet. I mean, are all the tribes in Africa, Southeast Asia, South America, all those people, do they really believe in a globe Earth? I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of the orthodoxy, even like people were sharing clips of imams, like of Islam, the Muslim faith. Some of that orthodoxy believes flat Earth. So, like, I really don't know if you actually broke down the numbers whether globe Earth would be the most popular. But it is certainly not the default. It is not the default simply because faith must be invoked. Whenever you have to invoke faith, I don't know if you could argue for default. Because if you just go to the beach or go climb a mountain, there's no curve. I mean, where would you get the globe being default from other than faith? Other than faith in institutions, which have a history of corruption and being wrong all the time.
Real fast, can we show some intellectual honesty? I understand that you don't know these numbers, and fair enough. Okay,
fair.
if you want to verify them, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, in good faith, if the numbers were correct, which they are, what would be your response?
You could say if the numbers were correct.
Okay. Yeah, it's an intellectually honest question, and it's actually disingenuous to avoid addressing the evidence just with the cop-out that I can't verify the numbers right now.
It's actually really not, because when you have an entire model that is all interconnected and all observable phenomena are explained by that model, one singular datum, like one photo, is not going to be powerful enough to undermine an entire model. If the numbers were true and if the math wasn't fudged, then I would say, okay, there's probably some kind of atmospheric effect or some kind of thing that I am not aware of.
So this is like scientism of the gaps argument. There has to be, there's no chance that he's wrong about his dogma, about his religion. So there must be this unknown variable that explains it. So he doesn't know what it is, but he knows that there's, so he spammed reification fallacy first, and incorrectly. He false premise reification stacked. Because what he's claiming for these interconnected data points and evidence that allegedly proves the globe, notice how FARINA has utterly failed to demonstrate on any level how they support a globe. All I did was spam fallacy. He completely, utterly failed to support a single position. So he's always going to magically invoke this scientism of the gaps argument. Complete, like, FARINA's not even on a preschool debating level. I mean, all he has is faith and fallacy. I mean, it's kind of pathetic, really. It's really sad. I mean, he was coming for the Dunning-Kruger crowd. Like, he opened strong with fallacy spam and diversification of fallacy, but now it looks like he's really winding down. It looks like he doesn't really have much left. He just keeps re-spamming appeal to invincible ignorance, and now he's adding scientism of the gaps. He's saying there has to be some, and notice how he said one picture. I mean, WITSIT literally scrolled through a whole bunch of different pictures, not to mention there's hundreds, if not thousands. Not that that proves anything, but it's just a false premise strawman fallacy on it. It just exposes FARINA's goofery. Although Farina would have a point if there was only like 1 or 2 photos ever that exposed a lack of curvature. Like if there was no infrared or laser test, if there was none of this other stuff and just 1 photo, I mean, he would be pretty on point about that. That really might have just been some kind of weird variable. But that's not the case, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, I mean, his desperate cope, like his fallacy spam cope here, I mean, it's really sad. I mean, we've just moved into the realm of really sad and pathetic here. So he doesn't even have to know what it is, but he knows that something could explain it away. That's scientism of the gaps. Just to maintain the faith.
That is making us see a little bit further. Maybe it's something that particular day. There's a particular humidity, or it's clearly over water. That's going to increase the atmospheric refractive effects. None of these observations are ever done over land. I think that's why. Same with the skyline of Chicago. They're always done over water for you guys. So there's something clearly, just one singular explanation that is missing. And that's why one datum is not going to undermine an entire model that explains every single thing about the world that we live in.
Again, just a fundamental failure on Farina's part to even grasp the scientific method. I mean, he doesn't even know the scientific method. He doesn't even know how variables and controls work. So he just keeps false premise reification fallacy stacking. He just keeps double fallacy stacking this on the other fallacies. And then clearly that's all he has left here, an appeal to invincible ignorance and scientism of the gaps. I mean, this is actually getting rather boring. Like, at the beginning, it really looked like Farina spiced up his Dunning-Kruger game, and he was going to come for the crown. I mean, he's sinking fast here. I no longer think that Farina might be coming for the crown. I mean, unless he recovers here. I mean, just this kind of pathetic fallacy cope. I mean, this is not going to be enough. You cannot unseat Dunning-Kruger champs like Michael Sartain or Craig of Fight the Flat Earth with this pathetic of a game. Like, you have to be able to sustain that a certain kind of diversification of fallacies and Dunning-Kruger stylings if you want to capture the Dunning-Kruger crown. Farina is fading fast here. Welcome, Justin Johnson. Toronto Thrash, not Trash, Toronto Thrash. And Timothy, welcome, welcome. Raised by Gypsies, welcome. But yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Farina, again, is he for real? Is this legitimate mental disability? I mean, what is this on the part of Farina? It's really hard to guess here. I guess it, I mean, if I had to really guess, it's probably some kind of combination of both, where he's not a complete comatose vegetable. He might have enough awareness to realize how dumb he is. But yeah, and I guess he's just ignoring all the infrared just all of the infrared footage, which would have nothing to do with these atmospheric, it would cut straight, straight through the haze and all of those effects. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult to kind of figure out exactly let's see here. He's hallucinating and pretending all these different things prove global birth, which they don't. And if he understood the scientific method, if he understood how controls and independent variables worked, I mean, he wouldn't be humiliating himself like this here. He'd be providing actual evidence instead of spewing faith and fallacy. But all these flat earth debates kind of go the same way. Justin Johnson says, no way, legit paid foot soldier, most likely holding up his end of the bargain. John McClure says, Farina's just a hired gun. He admitted it on a stream he did. Justin Johnson says, nothing authentic with this dude. Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of slip-ups here, which we caught. Where, you know, but, yeah, I mean, he's also kind of lazy with it. Like, at least be like Craig. At least have some kind of entertainment value with your goofery. I mean, Farina's kind of sinking fast. He opened pretty strong. Like, he really opened here. Like, he was really coming for that Dunning-Kruger championship. But now he's just kind of fading. Like, he just keeps spamming the same fallacies.
From everything we see in the night sky to geological phenomena to just absolutely everything in our world, right?
So hand wave dismissal, red herring fallacies, appeal to possibilities. That's your rebuttal. Okay, we can move on.
Fallacy, name a fallacy, fallacy.
Let's move on.
And look how Farina makes fun of the fallacies, because he knows it exposes, because that's all he can do. Because if something is fallacious, it's invalid. So WITSIT just exposed, and WITSIT's actually being really nice here. I mean, very patient and nice. But look at how triggered Farina was, just the bringing up of fallacies. So all he could do, like a small child, is just whine, fallacy, fallacy, fallacy. That's all he can do, because he doesn't understand what the fallacy is. And he has no actual evidence. He has no way to support any of his arguments, whether he's for real or not. Like, that's kind of irrelevant. Say, even if let's say he's a shill, because again, I'm not 100% sure Craig is a shill or a hired gun. I'm not 100% on that. Like, his incomprehension and genuine joy, like Craig's genuine joy at humiliating himself, I'm not 100% sure that's hired gun. Maybe it is, and if it is, they definitely hired a good guy for that. Because clearly Craig of Fight the Flat Earth enjoys his job. He enjoys humiliating himself, you know, shilling and all that, if he's a shill. Or he's just really that dumb. I cannot exclude the possibility that Craig really is that dumb. Just from the sheer joy of, like, a lot of the debates where he's just genuinely happy to be humiliating himself. Again, the opposite of McToon. McToon looks like he has a gun to his head off screen for all of this flat earth content. Like he's being forced into it. So McToon is the complete opposite of Craig. Now, Farina kind of has his own category here. He kind of seems just really lazy, whether he's a hired gun shill or not. He seems really lazy now. Like, he opened a little stronger. He had a lot more diversification of fallacies. Like, but now he's kind of, it's like he went back into, like, his default groove of just lazy goofery. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of lazy goofery. I like entertainment value. That's why Craig might be my favorite globe earth debater ever. I mean, he's just so entertaining with his fallacies, his verbal diarrhea spew. Not as fast as Sartain's, but, I mean, Craig is just a genuinely entertaining, whether he's an official shill or not. But, yeah, Farina here, obviously, fallacies expose what is or isn't valid. So Farina's only cope is the 4-year-old parroting fallacy, fallacy, fallacy. That's all he can do, because he doesn't comprehend them, or if he's not completely brain dead, he maybe comprehends them enough to know that he can't actually support any of his arguments, so all he can do is fall back into this 4-year-old style parroting.
Do you know that fallacies are important, Dave?
Now, I know that you guys name random fallacies to pretend that you've won something when you didn't.
This is interesting. He pretended the fallacies were random. Like, that's his cope. Is because you know what's interesting, though? If he really is that much of a narcissist... Okay, I have a new theory. I think he just provided evidence of it here. Is it possible Farina is that much of a lazy narcissist? he actually isn't even listening to what anybody is saying about anything. So he's just reading from a script, and he's so lazy. So again, this doesn't tell us whether he's legitimately mentally disabled or not. He actually might. This theory might give him it leaves the door open to him actually not being completely functioning, like completely lack of function as a human. Like, he might not actually be retarded according to this theory. He might actually be fairly intelligent according to this theory. Because if he's just that lazy, he's that much of a lazy narcissist, chill or not, he doesn't care what the other person is saying. So he actually isn't even listening. That kind of explains everything about Farina, doesn't it? So even if he listened, he might not have the, because maybe he really is that dumb. Maybe he is retarded. So he wouldn't understand even if he listened. But if he's not even listening, then that removes that possibility. That's why his cope is, oh, you're just naming random fallacies. Or if he did listen and he understood the fallacy, he knows it's not random and it's accurate, and now all he can do is project to cope here, pretending that he won something by pretending people naming fallacies are random and don't apply to him when they clearly do. Obviously, I mean, any small child that understands fallacies can see that. Justin Johnson says it's all on purpose scripted. Do you mean all of these debate? You think it's scripted on both the sides of the flat and globe earther? I don't know. See, I don't know. Some of them maybe, but some of them, like, people seem to genuinely get triggered, etc. Okay, Justin says no. So scripted on his part. So scripted on Farina's part. Yeah, well, there's also a lack of care because Craig actually seems to listen to what the other person is saying, and he demonstrates that with his comeback goofery. Because Craig is very specific in his fallacy stacking. Like, he wouldn't be able to stack that many fallacies unless he actually really listened to what his opponent said. Whereas Farina doesn't appear to actually listen to what anybody says about anything. Now, either that's a self-defense mechanism, because he's that insecure and he knows he's stupid. Like, he knows he's so stupid, he wouldn't understand even if he listened. So his self-defense mechanism is to not listen in the first place, because then he could pretend that he would have understood if he actually listened. Like, that's just his self-defense mechanism within his own subconscious. I'm just throwing out theories here. Again, I do not claim anything is true or untrue. But this is curious, though, because he's exposed himself multiple times now. But that, adding the word random fallacy, he would have to pretend it's random and not valid. And notice how he can never support any of his arguments in any way. But anyway, let's continue.
You literally appealed to possibilities. You said there's probably something that could possibly be happening. You literally did a textbook appeal to possibility. It's all good.
You're pretending that one observation is worth more than thousands upon thousands of observations every single day.
I showed 10. It doesn't matter. You're just affirming the consequent and reifying your model by saying it explains everything. What about the micro?
We see too far.
What about the long distance radio waves? What about when we shoot radio waves line of sight?
That's thousands of sporadic E propagation. It bounces off a layer of the atmosphere.
Okay, that's called skywave propagation.
Okay, hold on.
Sporadic E propagation.
Everyone's had their say on that. Okay, let me ask you. Another thing that I found fascinating as a normie is the contention between the what do they call you, Dave? A glober?
I don't know.
What is the name?
Globe. I don't care.
And then, so the globe people and the flat people is the idea that one of the things that I saw Austin talk about and you talk about was that essentially 5,000 years ago, there was a different North Star. And the question around whether or not the stars move, because that is actually paramount to the idea that the Earth is rotating around the sun versus the Earth being the center of the universe. So Austin, I'll go to Austin, then I'll go to Dave, and then next time we'll start with Dave. So in the flat Earth model, is it that the stars? Can you explain the stars thing to the layman in the flat Earth model?
Okay. Wait, the star thing? Like the question you just asked about the star moving or something else?
Well, I thought maybe I misunderstood. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the flat Earth mindset was that the stars did not move. Is that not true?
Sure.
Am I wrong
Okay.
about that? Okay.
Okay. Well,
Or correct
the
me.
claim
Yeah.
there is a claim that the North Star used to be a different star, and it's a very vague, ambiguous claim based on like architecture. So there's no actual legitimate evidence verifying that. For all legitimately recorded history, we have Polaris. But there is something called a kinematic equivalence, which sure that sounds fancy, but it's not.
Hold on. I know you're explaining it, but you didn't add. So is it what is the flat Earth position on stars? Do they move or do they not move?
They move every day. That's called sidereal rotation. If you mean over time, there does seem to be a slight progression of the stars. But what I'm trying to explain is that isn't exclusive to the Earth moving or not moving, right? It's called kinematic equivalence, which is what relativity is about, relative motion. It's like, oh, is the plane moving or am I moving? You can never tell. That's what the globe model says. So anything that moves in the sky could by default not prove that we were the ones moving according to the official globe model. That's the point I'm making. It's called a kinematic equivalence. So whatever the stars are doing, because we can't go back thousands of years and verify if the North Star was different, whether it was or wasn't, it doesn't prove the Earth is moving.
So Dave, your response to that?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, the North Star became Polaris in like 600 CE or something.
You know what else is funny? Like the religious reverence. Like you could hear the religious fervor in FARINA's voice. Like there's no doubt in his deranged, deficient anti-science mind that all these numbers hundreds or thousands of years ago are all accurate. Like there's no doubt. He's like, oh yeah, it became the North Star in whatever year it was. Like, his mind is so gone, he doesn't even realize how dumb he sounds. Again, shill or not, he doesn't realize how deficient of basic logic and reason he sounds with these religious regurgitations. And yeah, that moderator, John McClure, saying this moderator is the worst. I'm not sure he's doing it on purpose, though. He might just be that dumb. So just, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's almost like he keeps interjecting. It's almost like he thinks like he's part of the debate. Like, he might just be that dumb he doesn't know how moderation works within debates. He thinks this is some kind of open-ended Joe Rogan-style podcast. So that's why he's interjecting here. And he's so... Like, the moderator just seems dumb. Like, I don't think he's a shill. He just seems really stupid. Because Austin is giving him a more complete answer, and he's interrupting because he's so dumb. His deficient mind can only focus on one tiny little part of it. And Austin's going to give him a bigger, broader explanation that's going to make everything make more sense, but he doesn't want it. I mean, it's interesting. Justin Johnson says, only a fool looks to the sky to prove the ground. I think part of it is they're trying to understand the model. Like, let's say, regardless of whether the Earth, like, let's say the Earth is a sphere just for the sake of argument, is the Earth moving or not? The sky may be a way, one of many ways, to theorize. Again, you might not be able to definitively prove, but it is related. If you're talking about flat versus globe surface, it becomes less related, yeah. Unless some people think that the Earth is some kind of flat model that is moving. I mean, looking at the stars is more for movement rather than shape, but yeah, just a fundamental lack of comprehension. And yeah, FARINA just dove right into the script here. I mean, he didn't even attempt to understand anything, argue anything in good faith, nothing. And no comprehension, just religious dogmatic regurgitation and clear demonstration he doesn't know what the scientific method is. Can you be more anti-science than Dave FARINA?
It's actually very well
ago, something. Yeah?
No. Way more recent than that. Polaris. I mean, it was Thuban in the times of the Egyptians, became Polaris. So that's well documented. But furthermore, we don't need to do that. We can very accurately observe.
Well documented how? I mean, all Star Trek and Star Wars canon is well documented too. I mean, they have like, what, hundreds and thousands of years of history on all their different made-up planets and made-up galaxies, right? I mean, Star Trek and Star Wars canon is well documented. Does that make it true? I mean, this goof is mentally gone.
Milankovitch cycles, we can see the precession of the rotational axis happens every year. It could be measured, and then there's parallax and all these other things. But that's not really what matters, because again, he's trying to do this thing where he doesn't have to where he's pretending that geocentrism doesn't assume a spherical Earth. When the argument was going on in the Renaissance, early Renaissance, about geocentrism and heliocentrism, we knew that the Earth was a sphere. So every time he does this kinematic equivalence thing, the kinematic equivalence he's trying to refer to is whether the Earth goes around the sun, or if the sun goes around the Earth.
Man, this is tough. This is tough. Because again, with his his intentional straw manning and red herring fallacies, if the Earth is not moving, regardless of the shape of the Earth, this would apply. But he's so stupid. He's trying to red herring fallacy. Oh, they were arguing. I mean, look at this guy. There's no mental function here. Like, this guy is mentally gone. Like, he doesn't even understand the scientific method. He's just religiously preaching from his religious scrolls, hallucinating that they can't be wrong in any way. They couldn't have been even honestly mistranslated of what was going on hundreds or thousands of years ago. Like, he's so brain dead. He's so thoroughly indoctrinated into the cult of scientism and authority worship. He thinks humans are so infallible and incorruptible. All the texts are 100% accurate. I mean, that's the level of goofery you're dealing with here. I mean, this is tough. This is tough. Like, I don't even know how long. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to finish this in one more episode. I mean, there's only so much goofery one man can take here. Like, if you understand the scientific method and you understand basic fallacies, there's only so much of this you're going to be able to handle. John McClure says, precession of the equinox is a myth. The main shaft in the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid points directly at Polaris. Yeah, I mean, just the amount of goofery here. The amount of goofery. It's difficult to handle. It truly is. It truly is. So I don't know how much more of this script reading I can handle here, this fallacy spamming. But yeah, Farina's not good enough here to come for any kind of Dunning-Kruger crown. He's just not good enough.
Not doing little donuts on a pizza land. That's not an equivalence. Those are not equal things. We're talking about one going around one or the other going around the other. Those are the two things. So geocentrism, you often try to defend a geocentric model. It assumes a spherical Earth. That is an actual model that can, to some reasonable precision, describe the motions of the celestial objects and put them where they're supposed to go and predict quantitatively where they're going to be. Flat Earth doesn't have that. You don't have any model. You don't have any way of saying this is where the planets are going to be.
Yeah, there's not a lot of this I can handle. I mean, this goof is so brain dead. He doesn't know that the ancients predicted the movement of all of the celestial bodies, even according to his own dogma, thousands of years into the future. Like, this goof is so mentally gone. I mean, I mean, how brain dead is this guy? I mean, it's just tough. Like, I really can't handle that much more of this. Just unfortunately, this is going to have to be a longer series because just this guy doesn't even know his own dogma. So the Mayans, with their flat Earth cosmology, accurately predicted eclipses hundreds of years in the future. I mean, the Egyptians, with all of their star maps, all of the ancient civilizations, had all of these and these goofs are obsessed with predictions, like the Bigfoot mailbox fallacy. Like, he's so brain dead, He doesn't understand a post hoc logical fallacy. Just because someone predicts something doesn't mean the means of the prediction are accurate. Like a psychic, like I did many hours of podcast on psychics that actually solved cases. Dozens and dozens. Now, does that mean they used psychic powers just because they predicted the killer or the outcome of the case or where the body was? Just because they predicted doesn't mean the means of the prediction is what they claim it is. But this, like goofs like Farina, they're so brain dead. They don't understand this very simple concept even small children can understand, but Farina cannot understand it. Predictions don't mean anything. That's why you have the scientific method and controls. Like, why are controls? If predictions mean that much, why do you need controls? Well, why do you need dependent or independent variables if it's all about predictions? And notice how these brain-dead scientists and cultists, bootlickers, they're never talking about controls and dependent and independent variables. They're only talking about predictions because all they have is faith and fallacy.
This is when an eclipse is going to happen, any of these things. You absolutely cannot do any of those things. That's why I told you in the beginning, if you want to defend geocentrism, that's totally fine. We can talk about how we know that the Earth moves, which is a completely different topic from knowing whether the Earth is round or flat, because geocentrism uses a spherical Earth.
Okay, response to that, Austin.
So, again, Farina is so brain dead, he doesn't even know what geocentrism means. So, for example, all of the ancients were geocentric flat Earth models. Geocentric means that the Earth is the center of the universe, regardless of shape. So all of the cosmology, like this goof is so brain dead, he doesn't even know basic definitions. So his red herring spam is very, very pathetic here. I mean, it's just, this guy can't argue as well as a small child. Like, why would anybody even engage in debate with a guy who doesn't understand preschool level English or basic definitions? I mean, he doesn't even understand basic definitions. Geocentric means Earth is the center of the universe. All of the ancient flat Earth cosmologies were geocentric flat Earth cosmologies. Now, yes, obviously it's possible to have a geocentric globe cosmology. It's possible. But it's also possible, and was the majority of for all of history, according to his own dogma, establishment dogma, all of the ancients had flat Earth, geocentric flat Earth cosmology. But he's too dumb to comprehend even that.
Okay, so what's happening is I'm specifically addressing the singular point, and you're gish galloping.
No.
So, like, you want me to address everything you just said,
You're
right? Like, for one,
kinematic equivalence has nothing to do.
How about this? Just I'll throw it back to you real quick. Why is geocentrism exclusive to the Earth being a sphere?
Because it's a model that works. Flat Earth doesn't work. It doesn't explain anything we see, like the observations of the celestial sphere that you keep running away from. You cannot explain why the stars rotate one way in the north and the other way in the south. You cannot explain that.
All right, I'm going to take my time back and let me respond to everything you said, because you didn't answer. So the answer is that it's not, because with everything...
You didn't answer. That's fine.
You didn't. You just started talking about star trails again. So with everything going on in the quote-unquote universe, you said universe wouldn't exist. No, maybe not as you've defined it, but with everything going on, all the quote-unquote planets, everything moving around, the Earth's shape doesn't matter. You just project that. Relative to your projection, you create a transform relative to your projection or your assumption of motion.
Observations of the night
Buddy,
sky,
I let you finish. Chill out. Okay. So
let him finish. Let him finish, Dave.
So the truth is that all observations have shown that the Earth is stationary. We have the cosmic microwave background, which showed anisotropic inhomogeneous distribution of energy, which is the exact opposite of the heliocentric prediction, and intersected on the Earth. The 23.4 degree axis was on a non-local observation. Dude, define word salad.
You're just using words. You're trying.
mean, is this the most pathetic cope ever? You're just using words. What's he supposed to use? But it's funny because normally goofs say word salad when they didn't understand the words. That's their self-defense mechanism. Because they know they're too brain dead to actually comprehend the argument, let alone counter it. So they have to pretend it's word salad. Farina even had his little bottle prepared for this particular cope. Is this really all a humiliation ritual though? Like, we have to re-examine that. Because with Craig of Fight the Flat Earth, this goof, it's almost like he enjoys humiliating himself. What about Farina though? Farina appears to have some mild enjoyment from humiliating himself, proving he doesn't understand basic words. I mean, nowhere near Craig, but somewhat here. I mean, that's pretty curious. So this self-defense mechanism cope of pretending any words you don't understand are word salad in order to hand wave dismiss when you're unable to counter, when unable to comprehend, let alone counter an argument.
To pretend that cosmology proves the Earth is flat, then all cosmologists would be flat earthers. Do you have any idea how insane you sound? No, it's not. You're pretending to understand cosmology. You're pretending to.
What did I say that was word salad, Dave?
No, I'm saying it's word salad because it is word salad.
I like that. I said that was word salad.
We're talking about the shape of the Earth. You're defending a flat Earth, which we figured out it isn't true in 2,500 years ago, and you're trying to talk about modern cosmology to try to talk about this when you can't even explain naked eye observations of the stars in the sky.
Okay, look, they're directly related. The idea is that the Earth is a tilted, wobbling, spinning sphere that revolves around the sun. The alternative is that the Earth is a geocentric, stationary plane. Both of those are directly related.
Sphere, that is a stationary sphere, was the alternative. Prior to heliocentrism, we thought that it was a stationary
Stop interrupting.
sphere.
Hold on.
You keep going off the rails. I got to bring you back to what we're talking about.
Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm getting some flack for allowing too much interruptions. That's on me. I know that both of you feel passionately about this, but please try to keep that to a minimum. But I do want to say, most importantly, I think it's really important and really cool that both of you took time out on a Saturday night to get online and do this and stream and.
Wow, if you didn't think this guy was the worst before, I mean, now he's just patronizing them. Thanks for taking the time out on a Saturday. What? What does that have to do with anything? What? 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 Yeah, this guy's weird.
I just want to thank, I just want to give a shout out. I don't care who people back who are watching or whatever, both channels are linked in the description. WITSIT gets it or Professor Dave. Ideally, you'd subscribe to both and consume both people's content and, make up your own mind. I just want to, before, emotions heat up too much, just, say, hey, I appreciate you both being here. I know that it's a weekend night. Can I, if you'll allow me, I'm getting called a coward for not bringing up The Edge, apparently, which is, I assume, one of the more controversial opinions and Austin, I think it's fair for you to say, hey, I showed up and I'm the one that has to answer. I'm the one that has to defend all our positions. But I also think that's a result of the fact that the spherical Earth is the commonly accepted opinion. So
sure.
I want to be fair, and I'm not doing awesome at it, but I'm trying. So I want to say, like, if there are specific positions against the sphere or against that you want Dave to answer for, I want to give you that opportunity. But one thing that is what I found fascinating today was the idea of the ice wall or Antarctica. There's a lot of craziness around that, because what I thought, just being unbiased, trying to be unbiased, but I guess being honest, that is very hard for me to believe. Because people can literally go to Antarctica. I watched a lot of
I don't think this quartering goof is a shill. I really don't. Like, I don't think he could fake being this stupid. Like, just look at the way he talks versus Farina. Like, this guy, I don't think he could fake being this dumb. Because he doesn't know anything about Antarctica. He doesn't even know that there are ice shelves in Antarctica. I mean, does this guy not know anything about Antarctica? He doesn't know that you can't just go there. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't think this guy's just that good of an again, I might be appealing to incredulity fallacy here. I don't think he's this good of an actor to play this dumb. Look at his mannerisms and his facial expressions. Like, he appears to be genuinely this dumb. This seems to be genuine. One second here. I'll bring up something from the Bryant Meyer. Bryant Meyer seemed genuine as well. But, I mean, just look at this guy. I don't think he's faking being this dumb. Toronto Thrash said, Jeremy from the Quartering has not looked into Antarctica. He hosted the debate as he was bothered into doing it. Yeah, one second here. For the people that are new, I mean, obviously, you could look at Antarctic Treaty, ats.aq. I mean, this is basic English, because a lot of goofs are still hallucinating like the Antarctic Treaty isn't a thing. I mean, you could read all of it. I mean, none of this stuff is secret or hard to find. I mean, how much of a lazy, brain-dead goof do you have to be to dedicate countless hours of arguing on the internet, and you're unable to just, you know, spend a couple seconds looking at the actual treaty here? So, provisions of the treaty apply to the area south of 60 degrees. Strict penalties may apply to any vessel or any person on an expedition proceeding south of 60 degrees south without authorization or permit. I mean, can you get any more explicit than that? Like, is it possible to dumb it down further than that? Like, how do you dumb something down further than that? I mean, I don't know. Is it possible? I mean, is it possible? Here's an interesting post. I don't know if we went over this yet. This is from New York Journal, 1897. Map of the world here, January 31st, 1897. Wall of ice surrounding the flat world. That's curious. So clearly some people have went there. I mean, unless it's all a hoax, but... You know, it'd be kind of curious if part of the flat Earth psyop was throughout history they dropped all these clues to the Earth being flat, but they're all fake. That'd be weird. Yes, David, that's the treaty. And again, I mean, what do these goofs not even understand what a wall is? I mean, is it really that difficult to understand what a wall is? I mean, you could find these images pretty quickly on Google. I mean, this is just Antarctica. I mean, is this or is this not an ice wall? Now, this may not be the ice wall, or it may not be the dome or anything like that, obviously, but... So this guy thinks there's no ice wall because you can go there. But he apparently doesn't know the definition of wall. So when you're dealing with somebody this mentally deficient, I mean, what can you do?
Flat Earth video. I told you guys before. I watched almost 8 hours, and I was like, these bastards better show up, because I spent my whole Saturday watching Flat Earth videos. But like, I was watching like the Antarctica thing, which is a common talking point, and people go there all the time. So what is the Flat Earth position about the rim? Basically, that's what people in chat are asking. That what's going on the edges in the Flat Earth? And then Dave, I'll give you a chance to. Is that okay? And I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Okay.
All right. First of all, to address the first part, I'm cool with asking questions. That's the natural response, because Flat Earth is so out of left field for most people.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a normal conversation thing, not a like he's supposed to be debating me thing. But it's all good.
Okay.
I'm pretty chill.
I mean, I can let you guys just go at it too, if that's what you want.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna answer your question. Okay. This is the typically held position. You cannot freely and privately explore past the 60th south latitude, okay, which is a ring around the outside. So to independently and freely identify and verify what all is out there is not possible. Do people go there? Yes, you can go on approved guided tours. Most of the time, it's like just a couple locations. They say it's super dangerous. I have a friend that this is anecdotal, but a former NASA employee was stationed there for 6 months. He's a flat earther. It's admittedly the highest elevation on Earth. So when people say ice wall, I mean, there are videos and pictures of what you would call an ice wall. It's the highest elevation on the Earth.
Hold on. Highest elevation on Earth in Antarctica.
Highest average elevation. So not like Mount Everest, the highest average elevation of a continent.
Okay. That might be.
Yeah. So we're saying we don't know what's there. And oftentimes people get this straw man. It's like flat earthers say you can't go to Antarctica. People go there all the time.
You know what else is kind of weird? This quartering guy, he said he spent 8 hours watching Flat Earth videos and he couldn't comprehend anything in the videos because all the questions he's asking Austin, I mean, this is like Flat Earth 101 and he didn't understand any of it. So he spent 8 hours and he couldn't understand anything. It's just kind of weird.
No, we're saying you can't freely and privately explore it, right? Like if I let you in my house, but you couldn't go upstairs, you couldn't tell me what was upstairs, right?
A sex dungeon. I would know.
So are you going to go with Will Duffy to the South Pole? He's paying for you.
I told him when he first emailed me, before I even knew who he was, that I was open to going. I had specific parameters, which is that they can't take my words out of context and make a hit piece like they always do, that they have to be forthcoming about all the funding and all the stuff like that. And I said I would go. I have no reason not to go.
Hold on, Dave. Can you explain the Will? Because I know about the Will Duffy thing, but most people watching.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was getting these emails and not even knowing who he was, so I didn't reply. But he was this guy Will Duffy has been emailing flat earthers and people who make flat Earth debunking content about paying to bring some people to the South Pole to observe the 24-hour sun.
He's like some eccentric billionaire guy, right?
I don't really know anything about him, and I don't know how much money he has. I don't think he's a billionaire. I think he has enough money to pay for a couple people to go.
Because I will go. Like, yeah, I'll do the South Pole tour.
I wouldn't. I have things to do, but I would love for some flat earthers to go and see the 24-hour sun. And most flat earthers are already making excuses. Weiss is saying he doesn't want to go because he's evil, Satan or something. I don't know what he's talking
Austin
about.
said he would go.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
great.
And
Just to be clear,
Dave's
right?
position was that he doesn't respect people that are dishonest and hide behind anonymity and stuff like that. So whatever, I said I would go because, dude, I'm not scared of anything.
Did
You
he
know, I'm a
contact
flat
you?
earther.
Did he contact you?
Yeah. He sent like a mass email, and when I saw it, I responded. I said, "Dude, look, I'll go. It has to be transparent, honest. People have stolen money. They claim on their videos they're going to fly us, and then we contact them. They're like, I'm not going to actually fly you. That's just for my YouTube video." But he still has a GoFundMe up to make flat earthers look bad. So I said, if it's honest, I'll go. I'm not scared of the truth, dude. I'm a flat earther because you can go see mountains from hundreds of miles away consistently. It doesn't add up. The math doesn't add up. So. Anyway, and
Can I bring it back?
I don't know how that's going to manifest, but as of now, it looks like it could be me and Jaron going with, I guess, Dave McKeegan or something. But
well, I give you.
and when we don't see the 24-hour sun,
what are you going to have to see? So if you go, all right, right here and right now, you go, you see 24-hour sun, you come back, you make a video, because look, I saw this in Dave's video. I feel like I've saw you, and I have also. Everyone's been wrong. It's not like a big deal. I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying. What will it take? Like if you go down there and you see 24-hour sunlight, you'll come back and say, all right, cool. I'm cool. It's global. I'm a global guy now. What would it take if you went to the South Pole for you to change your mind?
if I saw a 24-hour sun that does a 360 around me, like the Go predicts, I would readily admit like that doesn't.
What's a 360 around me look like?
Like the sun should just do a full circle around you and never set, just like it does in the north in the midnight sun. It should do the same thing in the south.
What does it look like in Alaska when it's light for 24 hours there?
It literally does. If you're far enough north, you can just see the sun do a full circle around you, which is what the flat Earth predicts as well. What's up,
Dave? Do you have any issue with that? I don't know. I've never been there.
No, great. I can't wait. I really hope they go, and then when they come back, that's the end of flat Earth because that will be it. And
well, let me finish what I was saying.
Okay.
Yes, it would match the globe. I would step back and be like, whoa, I don't expect it to. So I would admit, yeah, that's weird. That matches the globe. That's not expected on the flat Earth from my understanding, blah, blah, blah. I'd openly admit it.
Isn't that what you just did to me about the photograph? Or I was thinking of another explanation?
What? No. I didn't even say that yet, but maybe. But a more definitive test actually is to charter a plane, fly far enough south, have multiple mechanical gyros spinning up that maintain rigidity in space. They should tip over as you go, and then it should flip over. So it should tip and flip based on the curvature of the Earth. If say that test and the 24-hour sun was actually manifested, which I don't have high hopes for, I would, if I found out for sure the Earth's a globe, I would be the first one to come out and admit I was wrong. Because that doesn't prove one thing doesn't prove is that we're flying through space. It doesn't prove any of this other nonsense.
Okay, well, let me ask this. So, I feel like Austin's been on a bit of the hot seat. So let me pose a question to Dave. I watched a bunch of your videos today. I actually really appreciate. I can definitely tell you're a teacher because all of your PowerPoint slides gave me PTSD back to my college days.
I'm good with slides.
Yeah. I actually, when I was getting my master's degree, I still had a professor that used overhead projectors that he had written in the 70s.
Old school. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've heard the terminology around flat Earth several times in your videos about grifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the grift? What is the grift in saying that there's a flat Earth? Can you kind of describe that? Because I don't see a lot of these flat Earth guys being like, give me money. So what is it?
It's just a little cult, and there's super chats, and they do the conferences and all these things. That's all it is.
He also just described how all these anti-flat Earth grifters like himself operate. Oh, this is hilarious.
So there's
it's not like a huge grift. It's not like Scientology or something, but
okay, we all agree Scientology is a huge grift, right?
I hope we all agree that.
Yeah,
dude, flat Earth doesn't make you money, bro. I get demonetized all the time. I'm deprioritized. And I had to lose a 6-figure job offer because I had flat Earth videos online.
Okay,
if you were gonna grift, why would you pick the thing that doesn't make money?
Because you're it doesn't make a better grift. If you could do I've been debunking Billy Carson and some of these guys on the Rogan thing. That guy actually makes money lying about archaeology and ancient aliens and stuff like that. That would be a smarter grift.
What?
Okay, anyway, but this is the problem. People are going to get so triggered that Dave's not being forced to actually address his improper claims.
Okay, well, what is
I'm just going to be real.
No, he's right here. He's right. Okay, hold on, Dave. All right. What is it? Articulate the question that Dave has not answered, and then Dave, the floor is
all
yours.
ears.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like I explained earlier, when we looked at the cosmic microwave background, it actually showed that there was, he called this word salad, anisotropic.
Wait, what is it? I just want to, we're not all, so what did you say? The The what microwave?
It's called the cosmic microwave background, CMB, which is just you send something up high in the air and you read the electromagnetic radiation. You know, there's the visible spectrum of light, then there's the non-visible spectrum. It's pulling in all the data from the light that you can't see with your eyes.
If
Right,
you've
the
ever
CMB.
researched flat Earth, you know this image, right? Dave's seen this.
Probably,
image.
yeah. Most
It
people
has
certainly.
nothing to do with flat Earth. I mean, this is cosmology.
Oh, hold on.
It's-
Yeah, but hold on, Dave. Hold on. Just let him. Yeah. Just let him.
It's
you
about
know.
It's
Go
about
ahead.
is the Earth moving or not? So in the current model that the Earth is flying around the sun, the universe, whatever, it's all the energy should be evenly distributed. That's called homogeneous, and it should be isotropic, meaning it has no preferred direction. Okay, but what they saw was that it was inhomogeneous and anisotropic, and actually the part that had a preferred direction intersected on the Earth, and they ended up calling it the axis of evil. And then what they saw was that this anisotropic inhomogeneous distribution of energy was actually on a 23.4 degree tilt, which was supposedly the Earth's tilt, but it was observed way beyond our quote unquote galaxy, which means it could not have been the Earth tilted. So it's a major problem. The CMB matched the geocentric model.
Okay, Austin.
So who thinks so-called Professor Dave's going to be able to counter here? Who thinks so-called, this is the last chance I'm giving him because I'm getting, I'm getting kind of tired of this goofery. We're going to have to, I don't even know if we're going to be able to finish this in one more part, but who thinks Dave Farina is actually going to be able to engage in some kind of debate here? He hasn't been able to thus far. It's just been faith, fallacy, and humiliation, fetishism, just exposing his own goofery by Dave Farina. But is he actually going to be able to counter a point or not? I wonder. I'm waiting with bated breath. David XXXESP1 says, Bruce, what do you think of the $65 for friends and business partners to chat Flat Earth and Globe? I thought it was a massive ripoff. I have no idea what you're referring to. I will be doing a Flat Earth roundtable. Hopefully we'll get some thinkers on there, but it will not, there would be no charge for it. Papa Pump 69. Are you really Scott Steiner? You keep changing your name. What's going on here? Papa Pump says, are you controlled op? So if I were controlled op, I would say no. If I weren't controlled op, would I say yes? Or would I not answer the question? I mean, would someone who's controlled op not pick a side on anything and just be extremely strict in the application or exposing of logical fallacies within debate without pushing any side on anything? So if I'm pushing logic and the search for truth without claiming to know what it is, would that make me controlled op?
So you're talking, okay, so this image, right, the CMB model, right, you're saying, how does this, one thing again, I'm a layman, so I feel like I'm speaking for just regular people who are watching. What about this should Dave talk about when it comes to the sphere heads? So when you talk about the microwave, whatever, how does this relate to flat Earth? Is what my question is.
This is just about if the Earth is geocentric or not. If the universe is geocentric.
Okay,
so
that's a different conversation then, right? Because
it's not though.
The planet
it's not
could
though.
be yes, it is, because the planet could be a sphere but still be geocentric.
Yeah, I don't think the quartering is a shill. Like, look how impressed he is with his, 4-year-old conceptualization here. Yeah, obviously it could be, but if the heliocentric globe model is telling you that all these motions are happening while it's flying through, if all of that is wrong, how can you use it to support? Because if you're just appealing to authority, so this is what the quartering goof can't comprehend. If your only argument is to appeal to authority, and the authority is always wrong about everything, including whether the Earth is at the center or not, he doesn't think that could be related? What a goof.
Could be. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so it is
But
different.
the point is that the mainstream model we were all inundated with was that the Earth's a spinning globe. So the alternative is that the Earth's a stationary plane. And what always happens is the people that believe in the spinning globe, they want to avoid the burden of proof for both of those things, curvature and motion. And if they think they can say what's an eclipse, then somehow they don't have to explain all the evidence that shows the Earth's not a spinning globe. And that is illogical.
Austin, how do you explain eclipses? You brought it up. I didn't bring it up. So
Well,
I don't
wrap
know.
this one up first. I mean, let's not jump topics here.
Okay, I'll shut up. You're right, Dave. Thanks for keeping me in line.
Yeah. You can go whatever we want after this, but no, this is what Austin relies on. This is why he's so incapable of doing.
But what does it supposedly prove? I'm sorry. So what does
that the Earth's in the center of the universe?
Got it. Okay, Dave, respond.
Okay. So no, it absolutely doesn't. Otherwise, cosmologists would all agree that Earth was at the center of the universe.
And you could tell how, I think I might have to stop it here. You could tell how brain dead Farina is. Like, in his deranged mind, I mean, look at this loon here. I mean, look at this. There's nothing going on between the ears there. Because this goof thinks that he's stacking appeal to popularity, appeal to authority, and appeal to credentials fallacies. As if everybody would always know the truth, when obviously throughout history what the majority of people believed about the majority of things, they were wrong the majority of the time. So this now clearly he also doesn't know anything about the cosmic background race, so he's basically just ignoring it. That's his cope. His cope would, the so-called professionals would all be geocentrists if it were true. And they're not, therefore it's magically not true. So if you used that alleged, I don't even want to call it a line of reasoning, because a fallacy stack isn't really reasoning. It's not the ability, is reason. The Fallen Slaves Us All says, Farina is so brain dead I'm surprised he can talk. Oh, man. Yeah, so he thinks if something is legitimate, everybody would magically believe it. So there's no such thing as propaganda. There's no such thing as corrupt people wanting money. There's no such thing as institutions being slow to change, even when they're demonstrably false about a certain topic. He's just ignoring all of human history, all human psychology, everything, in order to cope. Man, my apologies, but that's pretty much all I can handle for now. I mean, he's just so pathetic here. Nothing but faith and fallacy the entire time. And he's not even really spicing it up. Like, again, if he's going after Dunning-Kruger championships, the Open was strong, but he's faded so fast into his old ways. I mean, this is just absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So yeah, let's just do final comments here, and that'll be the end of this part. I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to be able to finish this in another part. It might need 2 or 3 more parts to deal with Farina's gophery. I mean, this is just such brain-dead stuff here. Everybody would magically just switch models if it were true. I mean, you can go over all of these findings. I mean, yeah, maybe there's issues with it, but if you're not brain dead, why not point out the issues? Oh, man. Just constant appeal to popularity, faith, authority. I mean, Farina's got nothing here. I mean, he has a strong case for the worst debater ever, like the most pathetic maybe. But he's just not entertaining enough. And his verbal diarrhea is just not on the level of guys like Sartain. Hoop Oracle says he's too obvious, has nothing. It's obvious he's lying and is a paid actor. Yeah, I mean, also, what's kind of weird, he has so many subscribers. If that's not all bots, like, why do they not show up for his live stream or debates? That's a good question there. Hoop Oracle says 24-hour sun in the south. Fact. I mean, it's curious that there are no streams of the 24-hour sun in the south for decades now. I mean, back in the 90s, people were doing webcam streams. I'm not sure if it was on AOL, but they were doing 24-hour webcam streams in like low, what was it, like maybe not even 240p. It might have been like 100 something resolution, like toaster resolution, but it was 24 hours. I mean, there were people putting webcams everywhere on top of mountains, like in the late 90s. Definitely by the early 2000s. Like, there's enough bandwidth for people to play 4K, to stream, live stream playing 4K video games, 4K resolution and like 60 frames per second or higher. All these kids doing it, but somehow they don't have the bandwidth to do a single stream from Antarctica. It is kind of weird. It's definitely kind of weird. Kind of weird. Richie009 says, no streams of Earth from space. No moon or sun rise over Earth from space. Yeah, so we're going to have to finish this one up. Alright, so what do the people want? I was going to do the Austin versus Jaron analysis after this one, but I really wanted to finish this one. But if people want me to just start that one, perhaps I can get that done sooner, because there's only so much of Farina I can handle at once. So if people really want me to start, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that in one part either. Maybe I will. I mean, who knows? But if that's what the people want, I can start doing the Jaron versus Austin debate before finishing it. Fallen Slaves Us All says, do it now. Yeah, what do you guys want? Let's do a poll to round out this podcast. Alright, vote in the poll, and then we'll see. So then the next debate, if everybody wants it before me finishing this one, then we shall do it. Hoop Oracle says, do Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones? Sam Tripoli was there too. Which one? I actually did do Eddie Bravo, Dave Weiss, and Alex Jones. Alex Jones was quite the goof in that one, but he might have been faking. So, looks like most people want the WITSIT Jaron analysis as soon as possible. Hoop Oracle says it's old, was on tinfoil hat. Interesting. Maybe I'll dig that one up. I think everybody wants Austin versus Jaron next, though, and as soon as possible. Justin Johnson says 2025, and we have to question if there's a 24-hour sun down there. You don't have to question the northern sun. Should tell you most of what you need to know. Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, I guess I'll do the next analysis will be Jaron versus Austin, and then I'll come back to this one after. So thanks everybody again for joining us. I do have some more live Q&As coming up. Plenty of other stuff to go over. And a few true crime cases. Next episode's coming up. Some new info on some of them. So, yeah, plenty of stuff coming soon. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.